At the moment I've got the happy state of looking at the last 3.5 rows of pruning in the whole vineyard. There's about 120 odd plants, I'd say, something like that. This is the Lagrein. This is our little experimental patch, which we're pruning differently to the rest of the property. This is spur pruned. This particular vine just grows and grows and grows, and if it could, and it does in Europe, it would grow right across the top of this thing. If you don't watch out, these things come across and they actually join in the middle of the rows. It's a prolific producer of vine growth. Unfortunately, I'm not getting it to produce enough fruit. I'm getting too much wood, not enough fruit. So I'm working on some theories at the moment. I won't tell you about them until I work out whether they've worked or not. But I think I'm going to have to cut it back to fewer buds, even though I am worried about huge amounts of wood, and we'll use the hedger a bit more. But we're nearly there. Three rows and plus about 3/4 of this one to go. You can see, if you look in the next row, you can see some of the younger ones in the grow guards. This patch has been quite difficult to get plants started in the last couple of years. So I've still got some pretty juvenile ones amongst it, but it's coming on, and what fruit we have got out of it has produced some absolutely magnificent, deep, rich red wine, very much like the Shiraz. And if I could get this patch producing like I want to, we'll probably get enough off here to get enough for roughly 2 cases a week to sell at cellar door, and that would be fantastic. Well, this is what I got to work with. This is the spur that we had on last year with 2 major buds, and unless we're very careful, if we cut there, for example, this will get longer and longer and longer. So first thing you do is you take off the extension and then cut that one, and we've got one bud at the back you probably can't see, and another one in the corner. There's always what we call a basal bud. They'll produce the 2 shoots for next year. Same with that fella, and so it goes on. So you cut back it's called a thumb and finger technique. You cut back the finger and go back to the thumb or whatever. So you constantly take off the long bit and trim back the short bit. So you're trying to get fruit from the bud on a fresh piece of wood, a piece of wood that started to grow last year. And that one we'll use. This cane here, this fella here, we're going to leave there, use that bit of string will tie on there later on. And that's my insurance cane in case we get a frost. So if we do get a frost, we can lay that one down, cut that arm off, lay that one down, and at least half of the vine will produce for next season. It's an age-old technique, probably pioneered by the Romans or something, but it lets us get a second chance. This is quite a flat little paddock, as is Top Block Pinot right behind me, quite flat, and there is always a risk of a late frost in spring that will burn these leaves. It means it's got to be -degrees a metre or so off the ground, and unfortunately we've had that twice in the last 5 years with quite terrible results. Wiped out the Pinot twice in that time. I would hope to have this patch pruned now by Monday, probably lunchtime Monday. Just roughly the end of August, middle, 3rd week or whatever of August we're in right now. Way back, my target was to finish by grand final day, because bud burst when I first started growing grapes here didn't happen until well into early November or thereabouts, around Cup Day. Now we're getting bud burst certainly early to mid-October at the worst, but even before the end of September. So we've got to have this all done, all tied down, undervine cleaned up, and have a herbicide run to limit the weed competition. All of that in place before bud burst, which could come as early as the middle of September. So overall, we've had the contractors come in and do the pruning of the major varieties: the Chardonnay, Semillon, Riesling, and the Pinot. I've looked after the Lagrein. We're pretty much ready to move forward. It's been a relatively mild winter, but quite cold just recently, and that might slow down that bud burst I talked about a moment ago. But in general terms, there's plenty of water on the ground. We've got heaps of water in the dam. We've also got the recycled water that will officially be turned on, we think, in the next 10 days or so. So there's no problem about water supply from here on. It's just about now, how much sunshine do we get through the summer, and what sort of luck do we have with wasps, disease, birds, huge winds, and goodness knows what else. Just the little things that are set to try us, and what makes this farming business a real challenge and something that I thoroughly enjoy.